Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press on January 6, 2014. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspapers, posted on public bulletin boards in the Township website.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to remind everyone to please turn off your cell phones and roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilman Mumolo.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Here.
Vice President Fosman.
Here.
President Leidecker.
Here.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to stand for our Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence. We have some guests today, Troop Number 16 from the Boy Scouts that will lead us in the pledge. You guys could take down the microphone so we can hear you. Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to ask the boys to give a small explanation of why they're here with us today.
We are here for doing our communications merit badge. We have to join into a town council meeting, and we have to discuss two sides of an objective that you're talking to about.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thanks,
Good
I
job,
hope
guys.
you enjoy the meeting. At this time, I'd like to advise the clerk to accept and file the reports.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the July 8th, 2014 council meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Motion made by Councilwoman Pontorero, seconded by Councilwoman DeYoung. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Vice President Fosman.
Yes.
President Leidecker.
Yes. Moving on to the consent agenda. All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Does anyone wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Seeing none. Resolution 4-1, recognize Brick Rotary Club for the Bulletproof Vest fundraiser. I do have some information on this for the public in case there's a few people in the room who don't know what this is. I got some information from Kurt Meyer, and he informed me that the Vest Fund started in 1979 by police members of the Brick Rotary. 1985 was the first annual Brick Rotary Vest Fund Dance, and this year is the 30th annual Bulletproof Vest Fund Dance. They raised over $600,000 for the purchase of personal body armor for the Brick Township police officers. They've also purchased for the officers tactical gear to used by the CERT team, which is the Special Emergency Response Team. They've purchased several water rescue suits, which were used by the officers during Superstorm Sandy, and they've also purchased vests for the canine dogs. All proceeds from the dance go to the purchase of body armor and the tactical gear. And if you would like more information, it is this Friday at the VFW. It's $30 a ticket, or you can just make a donation to the police department or the Rotary itself if you'd like to participate in purchasing the bulletproof vests for our police officers here in Brick. Resolution 2, authorize cancellations, grant receivable, and appropriated reserve balances. This is money that was not received from the grant, therefore we are canceling the rest of the grant. The 2013 Youth Corps grant for $32,000 and the appropriated reserve balances of $32,000. Resolution 43-A, the 2014 Clean Communities Grant. We need to approve the insertion of $140,369.90 into our budget for this grant. 43-B, 2014 Cops and Shops Summer Short Initiative Program grant. We need to insert $3,600 into our budget for the monies received for that. Resolution 43-C, 2014 Edward Bryn Memorial Justice Assistance Grant. That is in the amount of $10,133. Resolution 43-D, 2014 Alcohol Education Rehabilitation Grant. We're inserting $3,603.89 into the budget. 43-E, 2014 Title III B and E Caregiver Grant. We get this money through the County Office of Senior Services. We are receiving $4,070 for Title III-B and $3,730 for Title III-E Caregiver Senior Outreach Grant. Resolution 43-F, 2014 Zoning Code Officer Grant, and that is for $60,000 to go towards our zoning officers. Resolution 4-4, authorize application for the 2014 Green Acres Enabling Grant. This is something that was just taken care of today, and I'm going to give the floor to Councilwoman Zapsek.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the township's application to NJDEP Green Acres Grant Program for a multi-park improvement project. This will allow us to improve the facilities at Lake Riviera Park, Colorado Park, Angela Hibbard Park, and the municipal tennis courts. The total amount of the project is $5,124,550. The grant we are applying for is approximately 50% of that. The balance is the township required match, which will be through partially through the no net loss reforestation grant and other capital funds that we already have. And these improvements will get us back on track with our recreation master plan.
Thank you very much. Resolution 5, authorize receipt of bids for special advisor for the landfill project. Currently, we are using Acacia, but the time has come where we need to possibly reappoint another financial advisor. Resolution 6, authorize award of proposal, fail and open process for our bond counsel. We are appointing Willens, Goldman, and Spitzer, and this resolution will take effect on July 24th, 2014, for a period of 1 year. Resolution 7, authorize award of proposal, fair and open process, appraisal services. This is a pool, and it has been awarded to Henry J. Mancini and Associates, Starmac Appraisals, and Appraisal Systems. This resolution shall take effect July 24th, 2014, for a period of 1 year. Resolution 8, authorize award of proposal, fair and open process, architectural pool. There are 4. A is Architectural Design Associates, B is Barlow and Associates Architects, C is Tokarski and Milliman, D is Spitzel Architectural Group. Again, this takes effect July 24th, 2014, for the period of 1 year. Resolution 9, authorize payment for emergency repair for Howard Lake. On August 13th, we had that terrible, terrible rainstorm, and it did some damage to Howard Lake, which is behind Lake Godfrey, and there was a good chance of it overflowing, damaging some of the personal property of our residents in that area. We did have an estimated repair cost of $34,625. Thankfully, it was only $23,813.36, and that is going to R. Kramer and Son Marine Contractors, LLC. Resolution 10, authorize change order number 2, Final Traders Cove Transient Floating Docks. A few months ago, we had awarded them change order number 1 in the amount of $67,860.01, more than the contract. Thankfully, they did not need this amount, so it is decreased by the same amount, and that is for Bird Construction. Resolution 11, authorized to cancel stale date checks for courts bail and general account. There is a total of checks listing for $436.50 in the bail account to be canceled and $308 in the general account to be canceled. Resolution 12, authorized tax liens for property cleanups for DPW. This is to go and clean up any debris and cut the grass to make the property safe again for surrounding residents in our community. And that is on Hessler Way, Cape Breton Court, Baxton Street, Emberley Road, Lafayette Drive, Matitaconk Road, and Ashwood Drive. Resolution 13, authorized tax liens for property cleanups for the Parks Department. This is for the shrubbery on certain properties that the DPW does not do. And that's on Spring Avenue, Adair Drive, Ashwood Drive, Riverside Drive, and Stephen Road. Resolution 14, authorized special events permit for Epiphany Church. Epiphany Parish has applied for a special event permit to conduct a Feast of the Assumption at the Jersey Shore on August 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. And they are located on 615 Thale Road, and it will be held between the hours of 1 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. And they're going to have carnival rides, games, and food vendors. Resolution 15, authorize special events permit, Revive the Vibe. The Bricks Elks have applied for a special event permit to conduct a Revive the Vibe event on August 10th, 2014. It will be held at the Brick Elks, which is located at 2493 Hooper Avenue between the hours of 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. And they will have there's going to be some food and some games and live music there, so it should be very nice. Resolution 16, authorize special events permit, River Rock Relaxation, and this is something we've seen in the past. Thankfully, that is one of our businesses that has been able to revive their business after Superstorm Sandy, and they built a really nice beach relaxation area outside, and they have live music until about 10 o'clock at night, and you can have refreshments and food and drinks out there, and that is between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 a.m. from August 1st through August 31st.
Council President?
Yes, ma'am.
Quick question for Joanne.
Yes.
Have they been up to date with all of their permits and everything, that the reason why we're having them do a monthly renewal of their event forms?
Yes, they have. They have met the conditions throughout the process of getting their permits in place, and we are satisfied with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions on the River Rock relaxation? Resolution 17, support mitigation along the Garden State Parkway. If you've been watching the council meetings for the last few months, you've known that we've had a few residents from Evergreen Woods come up and speak about the detriment to their lifestyle, to their living. Here in Brick along the Parkway, there's been the removal of trees and lots of heavy construction equipment and trucks, and, you know, more pollution than what is usually there because of the construction. And the administration, our Mayor Ducey, actually wrote a letter to the Turnpike Authority asking them what mitigation are they going to provide for our residents in that area besides the township taking on the planting of trees and such. And what we did was turn that letter into a resolution that will be sent to them and our neighbors as well, to let them know and be more aware of what's going on and the problems they're facing in that area of Brick at Evergreen Woods. Resolution 18, authorize special events permit, Stop and Shop Customer Appreciation Day. Stop and Shop has applied for a special event permit to conduct the Special Appreciation Day on August 8th, and that is between the hours of 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., and they're going to have face painting, waterproof tattoos, a hot dog stand, and tents with free samples. This is the end of the consent agenda. I would like a motion and a second, please.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Council Vice President Fosman and seconded by Councilwoman DeYoung. And at this time, I'd like to open to council for questions and comments. Seeing none, I'd like to open to the public for comments and questions on the resolutions. Yes, Mr. Finelli.
Vic Finelli, Meadow Point Drive. There's a quick question on number 7. You have 3 different companies in that pool for appraisals. Did they all submit the exact same price?
They did not submit the same pricing. But it is a pool, and our mayor is the person that determines the appraisals. So we leave it to him to make the best decision, assuming that he will pick the lowest responsive bidder for those jobs. But again, that's not in our hands.
You just answered my second question before I asked it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We're right here. Any further questions from the public about the consent agenda? Seeing none, I will close consent agenda and ask for roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Abstain on 412, 423 Hessler Way, yes to the rest.
Thank you. Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ponterero?
Yes.
Vice President Fosman?
Yes.
President Leidecker?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, number 19, bill resolution, computer 2014.
Be it resolved by the Township Council, the Township of Brick, that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $2,765,670.73.
Thank you. Motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
I have a question, Madam President, may
Sure.
I address? I got a question on, there's page 24 and page 36. I apologize, I didn't get a chance to look at any of the bills. Would have brought this up sooner. Kentwood Construction, apartment sanitation, what is that? There's two of them, one's for $50,000 and the other one's for 10. The one on page 36 is another condo complex that also has apartment sanitation. Doesn't the apartment association take care of that, or?
They
I
do,
don't-
Councilman, but the condos, we do ourselves. But the apartments, we actually reimburse them for their costs at the cost it would have been for the township to provide those services.
Gotcha, okay.
Were those
That's
your
okay.
only two questions,
That's it,
Councilman?
thank you.
Okay, I'll open at this time to the rest of the council. for
Did you make a
questions.
motion and second?
We had the motion in second.
Okay.
Can I get the second? I missed the second.
Oh,
I apologize.
my bad.
Councilman Fosman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any further questions from council?
Council President?
Yes.
Page 35, Revenue Guard, $11,785.32 for ambulance collections. I'd like to, my understanding is that we have a contract to collect outstanding ambulance fees. But I asked the business administrator, can you give us an idea of what this is, I guess, our portion of what we pay for these collection services? What did the township recoup in ambulance collections?
It's actually, I was going to comment on that in my mayor's comments, but I'll take the advantage now so I can have more time later.
We'll
Yep.
time you later.
We actually collected $130,948.09. And then the $11,000 comes out of that, so the net revenue to the town is $119,162.77.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions, Councilwoman?
Real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
One more month after this for Arcadis, right? This is the May. Yeah, we have June coming. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Memolo.
Thank you. Page 38, TC Landscaping Contractor, is that the total payment for Windward Beach?
No, this is their first payment request for that project, yes.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
My other one was Arcadis, thank you, I'm good.
Okay. Council good on questions about the bill resolutions? I'll open to public on computer bill resolution 2014. Seeing none, I will close public and ask for a roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Abstain on New Jersey Press Media, and yes to the rest.
Councilman Mumalo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero?
Yes.
Vice President Fosman?
Abstain on the MUA and yes to the rest.
President Leidecker?
Yes. Thank you. Number 20, bill resolution manual 2014.
Be it resolved by the Township Council, the Township of Brick, that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,534,066.47.
Thank you. Motion and second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Pontoriero, seconded by Councilwoman Zapsik. Questions from council? Seeing none, open to public. Seeing none, I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Abstain township payroll, and yes to the rest?
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero?
Yes.
Vice President Fosman?
Yes.
President Leidecker?
Yes. Okay, number 5, ordinances on second reading. These ordinances, we do have public comment on second reading, and we'll take them one at a time. Number 1, amend Chapter 2, Administrative Code.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 2 of the Township Code entitled Administrative Code to provide for the reorganization of the Departments of Administration, Parks and Recreation, and Public Works.
Thank you. Motion and second.
Make a motion?
Second.
Motion made by Council Vice President Fosman, seconded by Councilwoman Zapsik. And I would like to ask the mayor to give the explanation for this ordinance, please.
Sure. Thank you very much. This is in order to streamline government, to make government smaller. One of the things that I had run on when I was running for mayor, it reduces the number of departments from 6 to 5. eliminating the Department of Community Affairs and Land Use. It also does other things. In addition to limiting government, it also moves the Division of Senior Services out of the Recreation Department and over to administration, since it didn't really fit in under Recreation. It also, the ordinance goes on and it transfers parks back into the Department of Public Works. So now Public Works is responsible for the parks maintenance. And it also eliminates a number of senior management titles. It eliminates the Director, Department of Land Use and Community Development, the Deputy Director of Department of Land Use and Community Development, the Deputy Director of Department of Law, the Deputy Director of the Department of Parks and Recreation, and the Deputy Director of Department of Public Works. So what does it mean in reality? That's the important part rather than all the rhetoric. What it means is savings. The Director of Land Use and Community Planning, $156,824. The Deputy Director, Department of Law, $0 because that wasn't filled. Deputy Director, Department of Recreation, $104,530. The restructuring, 2 laborers are reassigned to DPW at a total savings of $103,614. Clerk 3 demoted down to Clerk 2, savings of $2,500. Administrative Clerk to Clerk 3, savings of $8,900. Supervising Code Enforcement down to a Code Enforcement Officer, $17,734. Secretary Board Commission to Clerk 2, $23,749. And when you throw in all the soft cost pension contributions and contributions for payroll tax of all the above positions, that comes out to an additional $191,787. So the total is $453,141 worth of savings that's ongoing year after year.
Thank you. So to be clear, this restructuring still provides all of our essential services, and none of that will change, but we still save $453,000 plus.
Yes, nothing's going to change. It's going to run streamlined, and we don't have to hire those laborers over in DPW because they were reassigned.
Thank you. Any questions on council for this ordinance? I'll open to public on ordinance number 1, administrative code. Seeing no comments from the public, I will close public and ask for roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Absolutely, yes.
Vice President Fosman.
Yes.
President Leidecker.
Absolutely, yes. Ordinance number 2 on second reading, amend chapter 390, solid waste.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 390 of the Township Code entitled Solid Waste to revise recycling guidelines and bulk pickup limitations.
Thank you. To be clear, this is a little lengthy, but I am going to read to you the changes so it is clear to everyone here and at home about your recycling and garbage and bulk pickup. Section C now reads recycling. Recycling material shall be placed only in the blue containers provided by the township for that purpose, and it will be placed at the curb. It shall not be tied, bundled, or bagged. Public Works shall pick up recycling every other week. The township follows the Ocean County Department of Solid Waste Recycling guidelines, which includes the following items as recyclable. And I'm going to read these because I am a culprit of sometimes putting things in recycling that don't belong there. Number 1, plastic bottles with a neck smaller than the base of the container, such as beverage containers, shampoo conditioner bottles, laundry dish detergent containers, milk jugs, and salad dressing bottles. Cans, including aluminum cans, steel, tin, and empty aerosol cans. 3, glass bottles, jars, and glass containers of all shapes, sizes, and colors. Glass bottles and containers shall be emptied and rinsed with all caps, lids, and pumps removed and put into the trash containers. Corrugated cardboard boxes. Mixed paper, magazines, catalogs, paperback books, hardcover books, etc. On the hardcover books, you have to remove the cover. Item D now reads bulk pickup. Public Works is not responsible for the removal of items due to a change of occupancy, such as a rental or eviction or sale of house. Bulk items left at the curb as a result of a change of occupancy will be considered a move-out and will be referred to code enforcement for issuance of violation notices. For non-move-out situations, the following bulk items may be picked up by Public Works. Furniture including sofas, sofa beds, etc. with the metal frame removed. Mattresses, rugs. The rugs do have to be rolled and tied in 4-foot sections. padding bagged or rolled and tied, swing sets that are dismantled and concrete removed, stockade fence broken down into 4-foot sections with nails removed or banged in, playhouses, sliding glass doors with the metal removed, metal frames from the sofa bed, sliding glass door frames, refrigerators with the doors and freon removed, lawnmowers empty of gas and oil, metal sheds dismantled and bound in small piles, washer and dryer with the doors removed, ovens with the doors removed, microwaves, air conditioners, freon removed. Motion and second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Ponferrero, seconded by Council Vice President Bosman. And I will open to council for questions and comments. Open to public for questions and comments. Seeing none, I will ask for a roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Vice President Fosman.
Yes.
President Leidecker.
Yes. Ordinance number 3, bond ordinance, 5-year life.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, New Jersey, providing for various capital improvements and other related expenses in and for the Township of Brick, and appropriating $4,115,550 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $3,909,772 in bonds or notes of the Township of Brick to finance the same.
Thank you. The purpose of this bond ordinance is road improvements to various Class C roads located in the township and including all work and materials necessary therefore or incidental thereto, acquisition of various motorized vehicles and equipment for various township departments, including but not limited to the Department of Public Works, Police, Emergency Management Services, and the Parks and Recreation Department, and all work, including all work and materials necessary therefore and incidental thereto. And number 3, acquisition of various non-motorized vehicles for various township departments, including all work and materials necessary therefore and incidental thereto. Motion and second, please.
Make a motion?
Second.
Motion made by Council Vice President Bosman, seconded by Councilwoman Pontorero. And council comments, questions? Seeing none, I'll open to public. Seeing none, I'll ask for roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Vice President Fosman.
Yes.
President Leidecker.
Yes. Ordinance number 4 on second reading, bond ordinance with 7-year life.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition of various information technology and related expenses in and for the Township of Brick, and appropriating $917,500 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $871,625 in bonds or notes of the Township of Brick to finance the same.
Thank you. And this 7-year bond ordinance is for the acquisition of various electronic, data processing, and computer equipment for the township departments, including all work and materials necessary therefore and incidental thereto. Motion and second?
Make a-
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman DeYoung and seconded by Council Vice President Bosman. Council questions or comments? Open to public. Bond ordinance 7-year life. Seeing none, close public and ask for roll call.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Vice President Fosman.
Yes.
President Leidecker.
Yes. Ordinance on second reading, number 5, bond ordinance 10-year life.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, New Jersey, providing for various capital improvements and other related expenses in and for the Township of Brick, and appropriating $642,000 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $609,900 in bonds or notes of the Township of Brick to finance the same.
Thank you. And the purpose of this 10-year life bond ordinance is the acquisition of various equipment for non-data processing for the Township Police Department, and including all work and materials necessary therefore or incidental thereto. Also, the acquisition of equipment for the Township Department of Public Works and the Township Department of Recreation, including all work and materials necessary therefore or incidental thereto. And motion and second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Zapsik, seconded by Councilwoman DeYoung. Questions, comments from council? Open to the public. Close public. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero?
Yes.
Vice President Fosman?
Yes.
President Leidecker?
Yes. Ordinance on second reading, number 6, bond ordinance 15-year life.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, New Jersey, providing for various capital improvements and other related expenses in and for the Township of Brick, and appropriating $3,124,950 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $2,968,703 in bonds or notes of the Township of Brick to finance the same.
Thank you. The purpose of this bond ordinance for 15-year life are improvements to various Class B buildings and grounds in the township, and including all work and materials necessary therefore and incidental to. Also, the various recreational and park improvements to existing township parks and beaches, including all work and materials necessary therefore and incidental thereto, and various drainage projects in the township, including all work and materials necessary therefore and incidental thereto. Motion and second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Pontorero, seconded by Councilwoman DeYoung. Questions from council? Open to public? Seeing none, close public, and roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero?
Yes.
Vice President Fosman?
Yes.
President Leidecker?
Yes. And ordinance on second reading, number 7, amend bond ordinance number 43-10.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, New Jersey, amending ordinance number 43-10 of the Township finally adopted October 19, 2010, to provide for the increase of section NJSA 40A:2 through 20 expenses.
Thank you. And this is simply to move balance of construction money to section 20 for soft costs. So it's just a movement of money from one part of the ordinance to a different part of the ordinance. Motion and second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman DeYoung, seconded by Councilman Mumalo. And questions from the council? Open to the public? Seeing none, I'll close public and ask for roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero?
Yes.
Vice President Fosman?
Yes.
President Leidecker?
Yes. Thank you. We had one addition to our agenda, which is an ordinance on the second reading, 6-1, authorize execution of 2 easements to JCP&L for the landfill project.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, granting Jersey Central Power and Light Company 2 easements on Block 1427, Lot 4. And this is on first reading, just
I
to clarify.
apologize, it is on first reading. Thank you for correcting me, I appreciate that. And as you all know, we do have the solar project at French's Landfill down on Sally Ike Road. JCP&L needs 2 easements to finish the project, and therefore we have to do an ordinance to accomplish that. Motion and second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Pontorero, seconded by Councilwoman DeYoung. And roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero?
Yes.
Vice President Fosman?
Yes.
President Leidecker?
Yes. Thank you very much. My favorite part of the meeting, public comments. Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B. Yes, Mr. Foster.
These are public comments, right?
Yes, sir.
Last time I was here, I was a little bit out of it, but I'm a lot better tonight, so. Sam Foster, 108 Eagle Drive. I have, I'm
Yes.
sorry, something.
Can't hear.
Is the mic on?
Can't hear me?
Is the mic on?
Can you hear me okay now? No?
No, I was like-
But I'm in a Verizon commercial.
You know, our clerk is going to check
When you can't hear me, you know something's wrong.
our AV room.
Hello? Is that working?
No, Lynette just went to check the AV.
Ed, wake up.
There you go. There you go.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Conduct interviews now.
That's why we
Sam
keep,
Foster,
that's why we keep you around.
108 Eagle Drive. And I just wanted to, had a couple comments. One is, did make this comment earlier, but I should have, I guess, about Mayor
Doesn't sound like
Ducey's.
it's
Mr. Foster, can you hold on
I'm sorry,
just a
still
moment,
can't hear?
please?
Okay, yeah. I'll try it again. Okay now?
Nope.
No?
No.
Pretend you're singing karaoke.
It is on.
What's wrong? Okay now?
It's on?
No?
It is turned on, and you
Okay.
can hear it.
You can hear it out there, you just can't hear it out here.
Okay. Or how about now?
Yeah.
Well, we
Okay,
can hear you
yeah.
because you're facing
Okay,
us, but-
okay, here we go. Try it again. I just want to thank Mayor Ducey for his cost cutting in town with the departments and everything. It's, I think it's a very good idea. And I had a question also. This people might laugh about this, but I was reading BrickPatch.com and there was a report of a green anaconda at Lake Hopatcong, I think it was. Hopatcong.
Patcon,
Yeah, I
Morris
know it's,
County.
with cold weather in New Jersey, they can't really live over, for a long period of time. Want to know what kind of procedures are in place in the township that would, who would the public report anything like an invasive species like that, like a large snake or something like that?
I would assume animal control.
Mr. Campbell is a
Okay.
professional snake wrestler.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Oh, okay.
ability to do that.
And that Public Works Department,
It's
because they kept them around.
a hidden factor.
Yeah, I was just curious because, just for the winters, they wouldn't live long, but if we do see something suspicious with all the retirement centers around here and everything, elderly people, children, everything like that, something like that, they're a very large snake, very dangerous, so I just want to know for my information, because I live a few blocks away from the woods, so now I'm afraid to get out of my car at night, so.
I would
Raccoon-
assume animal control. Of course, you can call the police department
And I guess-
after hours, and they would probably direct you to that telephone
Okay,
number.
because I was a little bit afraid of that, because seriously, I am just about a street away from the woods, and I'm very afraid of that. Possums and raccoons scare me enough already. All right, thank you, just wanted to.
Thank you, Mr. Foster.
Should I put this in here, or?
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay, there we go.
I think we're also
Mr.
looking for
Sluka?
Jersey Devil.
How much of a challenge is this? Does that work at all?
I
Yes,
can
yes,
hear you.
yes.
We'll give it a shot. Okay. Thank you. This is my letter. The letter was to Mayor John Ducey, Council President Susan Lydecker, all the members of the Brick Council, and all the taxpayers of Brick Township. This is my letter to be read at this meeting today, and I'm doing it. In order to prove the Turnpike authoritarians have severely damaged the property values of many Brick residents, I filed a tax appeal on the value of my home. The home I am in is about 180 yards from the Garden State Parkway fence in Evergreen Woods. And it was honestly assessed, I didn't have a complaint about it, by the assessment office a few years back. Since the assessment office, however, the parkway landscape has been devastated by the destruction of the forestry on both sides of the parkway, as well as acres upon acres in the center divider. The noise at times is unbearable for residents. Houses become, because of large diesel trucks and motorcycle traffic, often shake the foundations of the houses in development, and toxins spill over continuously from diesel trucks and buses, along with the 300,000 cars that go through there with their exhaust each day. This has hurt the property values due to the noise and toxins spilling over on school children and adults who live near the parkway destruction. The American Cancer Society, American Lung Association, and the EPA all testify to the hazards of toxins from diesel fuel exhaust on humans. The Turnpike authoritarians just ignore the findings and from these agencies, but somehow, eventually they'll account for their actions. Lung disease, heart ailments, and shortened life expectancies will be the result of their actions or their non-action. On July 10th, I was notified the tax assessor agreed with my appeal and will significantly lower the assessment in which my property taxes are levied. One may argue that things happened that would have brought my assessment down to a lower number, but one would be wrong. On the same day, my daughter had who has a similar house and assessed at the exact same value, also got notice that her appeal was also settled, but they lowered her assessment by an additional $8,000. With the current tax rate, the difference will mean her property taxes will be a little over $200 less than mine. The only difference in a house in a tax appeal was that her house lies about 50 yards from the parkway fence, and mine is 180 yards. The assessor is basically concluding that 130 yards closer to the parkway, her home value has dropped by $8,000 more than mine. In Evergreen Woods, there are at least 300 units closer to the parkway than mine, and at least 70 units closer to the parkway than hers. Other property owners will surely file a tax appeal next year. A few months ago at a council meeting, I announced to all the Brick residents that will be impacted by the parkway destruction, even if you do not live within the 300 yards of the Evergreen Woods. And now it has proven true. The Brick budget for the town, the school, and the county have all been approved, and with the austerity of the budgets, there isn't a lot of room for further cutbacks. So all the residents who have not received a lowering of their assessment will have to make up the difference. Every property owner will have to make up the money. It doesn't matter if your property is in Osbornville, Herbertsville, Greenbrier, Lions Head, Lakeshore Drive. You all will have to pay more because of the parkways, the Turnpike's authoritarian decimation of the parkway without regard for the lives and well-being of the Brick Township residents. It is time we all stand together, all the residents of Brick and Ocean County, and demand that the Turnpike authoritarians do the correct thing and do it now. The first thing, however, is that the council is authorized to start getting those trees planted. It won't immediately help. Nobody expects it will, but it'll start with the noise and the health problems of the residents, but at least give us some solace that someone actually cares and something is at least being done. The time to act is now. Stop the Turnpike from running our lives. Then, thank you.
Thank you.
Again, I yield back 30 seconds. I'm going to have a lot built up.
You
Ca-
start saving it
Ca-
in an extra 5 minutes.
Council President, could I
Yes, Mayor.
I just wanted to read a little bit from the resolution. I know we spoke about it during the consent agenda, but the last paragraph is, the do-nothing approach is unacceptable, as are any assertions that this project has not had any impact on the residential areas along the stretch of the parkway included in the shoulder restoration and improvement program. Additionally, it should be noted that Evergreen Woods is adjacent to the road that feeds into the exit for the overpass, which is another federally funded project. And therefore, we are requesting the NJTA to identify mitigation measures as soon as possible. Time is of the essence.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other member from the public? Yes, Mr. Zingas.
Thank you very much, Mayor and Council. On June, I'm representing myself as John Zingas, also as a spokesperson for Friends of Forge Pond, and incidentally, perhaps the Citizens Redevelopment Advisory Board. Unfortunately, I will say that Tom Manning cannot make this evening, and neither can Mike Morton from the Friends of Forge Ponds. So I will do my best that I can. I would like to address a couple of letters that I sent to Mayor Ardussi, as well as Council President Lydecker. And one of the items that we had, and you may recall that we had a meeting back in February between myself, you, Councilman Mumbalo, Councilwoman DeJong.
The redevelopment council
Concerning a
committee.
redevelopment meeting that took place in, so we're on the record here. Around February, that's the best of my recollection. But since then, there's been, as far as we could see, no action. So
I know.
we had sent you a letter, hand-delivered, and one of the items was regarding and again, I'm going to specifically put this on the record, that whether or not the council, this governing body, or the previous governing body is continuing to act in accordance with the ordinance that was set forth to have this redevelopment agreement.
Mr.
I-
Zingas, I
please
don't
cut me
want
off.
to interrupt you, but I understand, but there are certain nuances that cannot be discussed publicly. So before we go further with this discussion, Jen, could you please stop the clock?
Council President Lydecker, I respectfully.
I know, but I need our
Re- re-
attorney to address some of these
Council
items.
President Lydecker, I respectfully request that all I'm asking is that the council consider that this matter be reviewed by the council attorney who's in charge of redevelopment. I am not discussing anything regarding the redevelopment agreement or anything. And in fact, I could point, the redevelopment agreement is on our website.
It is.
And in fact, I've been to the DEP on 2 occasions in 2013 and 2014, earlier this year, and the redeveloper has done nothing. So that is the reason why our group wants to understand whether or not this redeveloper is in compliance with his contractual agreement. That's all we're asking. We're not just, so you should not shush me
I'm
as
not
far
shushing
as
you,
far
Mr.
as far as
Zingis.
whether or not there's intricacies.
Right.
All we're asking is a simple question. That's all we're asking.
And the
Number
same
two.
answer, yes.
Number 2, the Friends of Forge Pond is asking council, after 2 surveys, to request whether or not there should be a public referendum that is supportive of exactly what the Citizens Redevelopment Advisory Board and the Friends of Forge Pond.
Mr. Zingis,
have-
please address
have-
us.
Why?
Not addressing the
why can't I
microphone.
address the public?
You are by the
You have to
microphone.
speak into the microphone.
You're addressing the council president. She's who you're supposed to address.
Okay, fair enough. So anyway, so we are requesting a council consider, in my second standalone letter, our second standalone letter, that this be put to a referendum. The prior administration had a Citizens Redevelopment Advisory Board. It was formed. It consisted of numerous people. They spent a lot of time doing their work. Friends of Forge Pond also spent a lot of time doing their work. We would like the council to consider a referendum. Do we agree with a smaller hotel, a community center, and public access, all to be phased in a given sense? What we want to do is, we're asking for the cancellation of the contract, because I think you'll find, and through your review, that the redeveloper may or may not, I don't know, I'm not an attorney, have complied with the redevelopment agreement. It's pretty clear. We'd like to know, as I stated before, Tom Manning, who was the head of the Citizens Redevelopment Board, and Mike Morton cannot attend tonight. We would like to know that that board was formed, I presume, by a governmental entity. Mayor and council, prior administration. What has happened with that board? What has happened with it? Is it disbanded? Does it exist? Where is this board? We're all curious.
I know. They are not disbanded, and it seems as though you've been in touch with Mr. Manning. so I
Well,
assume that you
no,
know
Ms.
that.
Lydecker.
But I would also.
I will state for the record.
Mr. Zingis,
Miss-
allow
excuse me.
the President Lydecker
Thank
to
you.
answer your
Council
question.
President.
But you
Thank
had 2 questions on the floor, and I can answer them myself, but I'm going to direct our township attorney, Mr. Starkey, who is not our redevelopment attorney, but to the extent that he can answer both of your questions.
Lastly, this is going to take 30 seconds. I'm going to ask Councilman Fosman to respectfully recuse himself from any of these deliberations. And the reason why is because there is a Metedeconk River Watershed Protection and Redevelopment Plan that I had downloaded and purchased today that is contrary to what Councilman Fosman had brought to this governing body over 18 months ago, including a gated community, commercial development, and I respectfully, you just recuse yourself. You can consult with
He will
Attorney,
consult
your
with the
5 minutes
But
is up.
I want to have it on the record. I want it on the record.
I'm
And
not
then
going to ask
lastly,
him to answer that
what's
now.
going on? Has anybody
Mr.
talked to the
Zingas?
redeveloper?
This is
The same 5 minutes that
I'm done.
everyone else has is up, and
I'm
I'm
done.
going to
I
ask.
just want to know an answer from the benefit
Excuse
of
me.
Friends of Forge Pond.
You will receive an answer, Mr. Zingas, from our township attorney right now. Thank you.
Mr.
Okay.
Singhas, as to your last
I
question.
just want to hear if anybody's talked to the redeveloper. I mean, I proffered two.
Mr. Zingas.
Of course
we
we
have, but
have, and
it's
that's why
not
we have
information that we could
redevelopment
give you.
council. And now you will
I'm
receive,
listening.
thank you. Now you will receive our answer from our township attorney.
Council President Leidecker, as I've stated at prior meetings when this come up, this is a redevelopment project, and as such, it is to a degree confidential. But having said that, I know that the mayor and council have made, in particular, the site that's being referenced by the gentleman here, known as the Food Town site, a top priority to make sure that is properly addressed and properly handled. And I know that all comments from the public have been welcome before and continue to be welcome. As to the status of the board that I believe Mr. Zingas was on, I know that was formed initially under when Mr. Ducey was the council president, when the mayor was council president. And to my knowledge, it was continued when Councilman Moore was the council president, and then by you when you're council president. So that board still exists. I don't know what the status is. I believe that's subject to the chairman of that board to have meetings and do what boards do in this town. But as to the general status, I can report only generally that it is a top priority in moving forward, and when it's appropriate to be made public, that will be done so.
Thank you.
And Mr. Starkey, we are under attorney-client privilege with that redevelopment agreement with our redevelopment attorney, is that correct?
That is correct. I can actually only answer it generally because I know the redevelopment attorney, that's Joe Bauman is the redevelopment attorney for the township, is really focused on that. I certainly get reports on that, but I know he also has also made it a top priority.
Thank you. Mr. Zingas, I will call on you. Mr. Zingas, I will call on you when every other person has had their first chance to go. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, in the corner.
I gave you 2 questions. I don't have any answers to either of the 2 questions. Respectfully put.
And you may
Mr.
address the
Zingas,
council
Mr.
again.
Zingas, sir, please, we have to have some order at this meeting.
Hi, Melinda Murray, 1622 Forge Pond
Yes.
Road. Why would that, I'm not a lawyer, but why would a redevelopment project in a town that I live in and own a home in, at the end of my road, Forge Pond Road, why would that be like a client? Why can't we know what's going on?
Sure, well.
Like, I just don't, I'm sure there's a reason, I just don't know the reason.
There is.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, the redevelopment designation and the redevelopment agreement are public. They are on the township website.
Okay.
They've been vetted. They've been approved by the council. There's been public comment to that, public input on it. So as far as what's approved there, what's planned there, what's authorized, who the redeveloper is, the selection of the redeveloper through the process, the price, all that is absolutely public. What I think Mr. Zingas is asking is, are there any discussions, negotiations going on about what that's going to be? If there are any, that will become public before any decision is made, before anything is done. But it's a large project, and there are discussions that have to go on before other things are made
So
public.
before anything can go in, it would be brought up for public?
Before any plans are amended, approved, changed, before anything goes up there other than what's already approved, it absolutely be
Because I
subject
got to tell you, I
to a
was
public
out there
hearing and
2
input.
weeks ago on a canoe with my kid. Freaking gorgeous. The wildlife out there is beautiful. And I go to Cedar Creek just about every weekend when I do it. I do the all the way from the Girl Scout camp down. Every year, almost every week, with my grandkids and stuff. I went last weekend there. I don't think I can go there anymore. I felt like the old commercial with the Indian and the tear in his eye. That's what I felt like. All the wildlife is disappearing. All the garbage and the 20-something-year-olds leaving stuff around. It was sad, you know? It was really sad. So I want to see some kind of community thing go in there. But at the same point, just an idea, maybe it could go along with the beach badge and jack that up a little bit. Put a gate up there, make the canoe drop-offs, pay like a couple $100 for the key like they're doing down there. because I'd hate to see all that gorgeous wildlife disappear. And it's our watershed. It is beautiful down there right now, and I'm surprised that more people here aren't taking advantage of it. So I'm really hoping like a hotel that, starts out nice and in 2 years turns into a Section 8 junky place does not appear there.
I can tell you, there are environmental regulations and state regulations in place to make sure that whatever is constructed there, that watershed is protected to the greatest extent possible. And if you see garbage, trash, anything like that, I encourage you.
We don't. That's the thing. Down there, we don't. And if you do occasionally see like a stray, we pick it up. You know what I mean? But you don't see any garbage there. So this weekend, we're taking all the kids, well, my kids, my grandchildren, and we're going on Forge Pond with the kayak and the canoes because it made me sad to go down there the other day. And, it's just you see egrets and blue herrings and the turtles and the fish and the bald eagle, and it's just all right there. Right off of 70, it's all right there. All these years, the swans, they get a little nasty. But none of, you have all that. The fishing, everything. It would be a shame to put something in there that would destroy any of it. Because it's like one of the only things we got left. All right? Thank you.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Ms. Murray.
What?
Excuse me, Council President. There is access there off of Route 70.
Yes,
And a
that's
boat
where we
ramp,
go in.
And there's garbage cans there.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the sign above the garbage cans? The MUA picks all the garbage up?
Yeah,
Or
well, we
Township
do
picks it
pick
up?
we do pick some things up,
No, but it's there. It's there. If people throw it on the ground but not put it in a can, that's their
Right.
fault.
We actually have had
There is
cleanups
stuff
in the
for
woods
that.
along there and stuff, like community cleanups
Yeah.
in my neighborhood. The last time I got in trouble by the water company for doing a cleanup there. We weren't allowed to.
There's a
So
lot of-
we don't do it anymore.
There's 2 entrances, a lot of public access
Right,
to
on
the
Route
pond.
70,
Yes,
yep.
there is.
Yes, there is.
By the
Yep.
way, that is, I think the portion you're talking about is state-owned property,
Yes.
right off Route 70, so that's not the subject of.
No, but to see all that wildlife, you have to get in, like past the water company and go
Yeah.
down by like Shins and stuff like that. That's where you're seeing it. All through there. It's a beautiful thing. You guys should go out. Look at me. If I can do 6 hours of stroking that thing, you can do it too. Go out and take advantage of it.
Can you hold on just a moment? Mr. Starkey, so to reiterate your previous last statement, anything that comes out of that discussion must come through this council in a public forum for any changes to any part of the agreement, redevelopment, anything.
Anything, it
So
must be
it will be
public,
here
it must
for-
be the subject of public hearing,
before
you
it's
must
decided
receive
or
public
passed.
comment. I'm
Before
sorry?
it's decided or passed, it must come through this council for a
That
vote.
that is correct, must be publicly noticed, public hearing held, and public input taken on any changes that are made there, anything that's a plan.
All right, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Call.
Nan, you're not upset that you didn't flip a coin this week, did you? Just check.
No, it's my one job. I told you, and I didn't mean any disrespect. I must apologize. I'm Nan Carl from Greenbrier Boulevard, and I said it could be my entry into the Special Olympics. I absolutely adored the meeting, and particularly the young lady who very properly took command of the microphone and so nicely thanked. I never meant any disrespect when I said it's my entrance to Special Olympics. I have several members of my family. In 2007, after my first grandchild was born, my aunt, at almost 72 years of age, passed away. She had Down syndrome, and she was about the size of a 6-year-old and brought joy to the family. She was kept at home for most of her life until my grandparents went into a home and then passed away, and she had to go into special housing. So I have a godson, cousin that has mental disabilities because of lack of oxygen. So I meant no disrespect to anybody. I want that to be known. But on to why I approached. I am having a hard time understanding the statement that the discussions are confidential. I would ask, can we be given an update from time to time exactly what's going on? Most of the town is wondering, and you start to worry. Are you making significant changes, and is that what's going to come out of it? I would think that there are things you could let us know. It doesn't seem like anything is moving forward on it. So I would join the other two voices with asking that we hear some things before you're ready to do that. And lastly, I hope you're going to take resident inputs or homeowners' input into consideration before you actually have made your mind up. It's one thing to say you're going to bring it to the council, have an open meeting. It's quite another thing that sometimes that's done with minds already made up. I hope not. I hope you're going to listen to what we have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Call. I will take your suggestion under consideration, and I'll contact our redevelopment attorney and see what information we can provide at this time to the public. Any other members of the public wish to be heard this evening? Yes, Ms. Erickson.
Political season.
Hi, Kathy Erickson, 17th Avenue. I have two things. One thing you approved tonight, the Feast of the Assumption at the Jersey Shore at Epiphany Church. I want to tell everybody how wonderful it is. Epiphany Church is just off Herbertsville Road by Lanes Mill Road on Thiel, and a good time we'll have by all. The next thing is one of our former high school students here, Armando Bonilla. He graduated, I don't know, he's in his 40s now. He's been nominated by the president to be a federal judge in Washington, D.C. He is currently an associate deputy general in the United States Department of Justice, and he's one of our own, and I wanted to congratulate him because he's one of my former Cub Scouts.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Good job.
Any other questions from the public this evening? Mr. Zingas, did you want to come back up?
I respectfully request that,
I do need you to come to the microphone, please.
thank you very much, Council President Ledbetter. I respectfully request that anything that happens from here on out is open, transparent, and as soon as anybody has any discussions about anything, please let the public know, because you know what? This is the largest last tract of property in Brick Township, and we gotta do it right. We've conducted surveys. There's a lot of people that want a little bit of open space. We know there's tax. Oh, by the way, the property is almost half paid off now. I don't know even know if the public knows that, but that's through Mr. Pizarro's. So there's just a lot of things. And then lastly, I forgot the date. In August, we're going to have a public forum at the Brick Ocean County Library to just kick around ideas and discuss things. Again, all we're looking for is open, public, transparent discussions. No backroom deals, please. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Council President Lidecker, for calling me back to the dais.
Mr. Zing.
Oh.
Under contractual obligations right now
Thank you.
with that.
Any other further comments, questions, concerns from our public this evening? Seeing none, I will close public, and I will move on to council comments, and I will begin, as always, at our mayor's table. Mr. Ducey?
Thank you. July 10th, I attended the press conference for the revetment project. That's the steel wall that's going up. It began that day. They did the actual first piece of steel into the sand right in front of all of us. A number of news media was there, NBC, CBS, Channel 13, Channel 12, 1015. Everybody was out there. So as a reminder, there's going to be 500 feet of beach for 3 days at a time that it's closed. Unless weather comes and it gets extended out a day or two, because if it rains, they can't work. So all of our beaches are open. They will be open. There's going to be a time when one's closed for a little bit, but 3 will be open. When 3's closed, 1 will be open. Today we had the official grand opening of our new playground at Windward Beach. Phase 2 of it starts in September, and we had about 300 kids out there, and it was great watching them all run onto the equipment, using the slides for the first time, using the tree house. There's electronic panels that actually make noise, so it's handicap accessible, all parts of it, including the swing set. There's 2 handicap accessible swings. And it has the sound which is involved, so you go up and you push a button and it makes the sound of a black bear or a musical instrument or what a waterfall sounds like compared to rain, and there's all different things. I've never seen a playground that has any of that sound equipment, so it was exciting. My son Jack was out there. He's 2.5. He enjoyed himself. Friday, July 25th at 7 o'clock, the Rotary Club's hosting the annual Vest Fund dinner, which Council President spoke about already. July 26th, our building department, that's a Saturday, so our building department will be open from 8 to 12 down the stairs, so please come take advantage if you can't get here during normal working hours. 8 to 12, Saturday, July 26th. August 2nd, the Historical Society has the Civil War reenactment, the 61st New York Volunteer Civil War Regiment at the Havens Farm. August 5th, it's a Thursday, it's the Night Out Against Crime and Kids Night Out, so there's going to be a lot of activities for kids. And it's also going to be a mayor, instead of having mayors in for the month of August, we're going to have a mayor's out. It's going to be right there at Windward as part of all the festivities. We're going to have a table set up. We will have our department heads there. So whatever questions that you would normally bring to a mayor's in night, and you just bring them over there to Windward, take part in jumping around, having your kids jump around in a jumpy house while you come over and you speak with the mayor, the building department, the engineering department, and have whatever problems resolved there in person. August 9th is our shredding at the Hill. So if you have any personal documents that you no longer need, you shred it, you bring it over to our hill up off of Sally Ike, and you can watch it be shredded right in front of you, so you don't have any worries about your bank account numbers getting out there or anything. August 14th is our last Summerfest. It's a Bon Jovi cover band and a U2 cover band, followed by fireworks. That's August 14th, Thursday. And the 100-day progress, just so you know, there was another 12 things that have been checked off. We're up to 58 out of the 72 items have been checked off. It includes performing a department-wide review of township employee job descriptions. We spoke about that earlier tonight with the whole restructuring of down the stairs as well as the restructuring of parks and recreation. Implement procedures for technology and monitoring projects. We have the CRM system with all policies in place. So if you write an email to Town Hall complaining about something, it automatically goes into the CRM system, and you will get a response from me within 24 hours saying that we have it and we're working on it. And then when it is resolved, you'll also be notified. So if you have a complaint that a house next to you grass is too long, somebody will go out, they'll investigate it, and the results will be known so everybody can track it online. Also, to work with police, schools, and private entities to address the heroin problem in Brick. As you know, last meeting we reinstated the BMAC program, and we're looking forward to BMAC to reestablish itself as the model program that it once was. And we also have interns here in Town Hall. One of the things was I want to have Brick College students be able to volunteer and intern here in Town Hall, and we have them working in the tax collector's office as well as the engineering department. And also work to secure grants to respond to emergencies and recover and mitigate against their impact. We have submitted our first HMGP application to mitigate properties damaged by Sandy. We want to do it ourselves here in town. We don't want to rely on the federal government filtering out or state government filtering out. We want to have control of it. We know the properties that need to be elevated, and we want to have that program. So hopefully that grant will be approved, and we're looking forward to hearing for that shortly. So it's 58 out of 72 so far. Thank you.
Thank you. Joanne? I have no report, thank you. Mr. Starkey? Nothing for me, thank you. Ms. Iannarone?
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Hartman? Councilman Moore?
Yes, just
You're
one
up.
thing. I just want to reach out to our homeowners out there, male and female. I ride around a lot, and people's lawns look really good. Some of these people, there's a couple lawns that I've seen out there that look like the Yankee ball field. So I just want to say to our homeowners out there, you're doing a great job with your lawns. Please keep it up, because I notice it. I don't know if anybody else is noticing it, but I do notice it. So, and I'll be knocking on your door from time to time that you know that your lawn looks good. Other than that, I thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Sure. Summerfest, like the mayor said, we had our first 2 Summerfests, and they were a lot of fun. And thank you to everybody who made it all possible, the mayor, the administration, the recreation department, Danny and Chris and all those. They do a fantastic job. Glenn and Public Works guys, thanks for cleaning up and the park after we finish, and I think we've been doing a really good job of getting all the garbage and all the recycling into the garbage cans, so thank you to the residents for keeping our park clean. And also to the chief and all of our police officers, our special officers, and our police explorers. They do a great job with parking, getting the buses out, getting everybody out safely, because it's a mad dash after the fireworks end to get everybody out. So thanks so much to everybody who works on Summerfest. I'm very happy to see this administrative code amendment passed, giving better services, like Council President Lidecker said, giving better services, the same, if not better services, while also saving nearly $500,000 to our town. And this restructuring makes our township government more streamlined and smaller, while we're also saving money. So it's a credit to the mayor and the administration for getting this done and making sure that our township is running as effectively as possible. I'd like to also thank Councilwoman Zapsik. Not only did she bring BMAC back, but under her leadership, she has moved our recreation and all of our parks forward. Like you heard before, we have a grant going in for $2.5 million asking. So that's 4 parks in 4 areas that really need help to get redone. And, you know, Andrea has done so much work in her few short months that she's been on council, and I think it's a credit to her to helping make Brick better. So thank you so much, and that's all I have.
Councilwoman.
Thank you, and thank you for your kind comments. A lot of these projects were in process when I got here, and I was at the ribbon cutting for Windward Beach today, and if these projects come out anywhere near as nice as that, we will all be lucky people here in Brick Township. I would encourage everyone, whether you have children or not, to stop by and see it. It's absolutely breathtaking. Get out of your car and walk around. The safety surface under the equipment, it's a poured in place. It's the state of the art. Playground equipment falls are the leading cause of injury on playgrounds, and the type of surface that we put in is the best when it comes to attenuating those kind of impacts. So it's not only beautiful, it's safe, and I would encourage everyone to stop by and take a look. The Guild Theater Works is having their second and final weekend of the Hallelujah Girls at the Bob Anstett Cultural Arts Center on Herbertsville Road. Showtimes are Friday night at 7 p.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's a $5 donation at the door, and you can call the recreation hotline at 732-262-1006 to make a reservation. There's only about 60 seats there, and it does fill up quickly, so if you're interested in going, please make sure you make a reservation. They can't always guarantee that walk-ins can be accommodated. Our Brick Children's Community Theater, their big summer show this year is Willy Wonka. They're doing it at the Strand Theater, August 8th at 7:30, August 9th at 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m., and August 10th at 2 p.m. You can get tickets online at www.bcct.org or by phone at 732-920-9041. I would encourage everyone to come out and support our arts organizations. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mamalo.
I'd like to first start off by thanking the Boy Scouts for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Great job. Also was at the Windward Beach grand opening of the playground. Check it out. The actual flooring is made of all recycled tires, and it's very cushiony. Really neat job. Also, July 31st at 6 p.m. is the car show at Windward Beach. I'm going to be there. I think Councilman Fosman might join me. Also, a recap on Sandy Recovery Committee. The meeting was held on July 15th. The committee discussed substantially damaged properties. There are approximately 1,200 homes declared substantially damaged as a result of Superstorm Sandy. Many property owners are working to identify funding sources to assist as needed to mitigate their structures so as to rectify the problem within the mandatory time frame. The committee's concern is that homes are being sold without proper property notification that a structure is substantially damaged and must be mitigated. Therefore, the committee will draft a letter to the Ocean County Board of Realtors, the Monmouth County Board of Realtors, the Ocean County Bar Association, the New Jersey Association of Realtors, and the State of New Jersey Home Inspectors Association, educating them on what it means to have a structure listed as substantially damaged and what is required to mitigate. Sorry about. All will be encouraged to contact the township to confirm that the property is listed as substantially damaged before entering into a contract. We've had some instances where houses have been turned around rather quickly and sold, and they're under a contract, and these people that are purchasing these homes are not aware that these houses have to be raised. So we're trying to nip that before it gets out of control. The committee also discussed FEMA's Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, HMGP. Township recently submitted its first funding request through this program. The criteria for selection was that the property is substantially damaged, a repetitive lost property in accordance with FEMA's definition for the same. And this was not in any other approved funding program. One of the 10 eligible property owners opted out, but we have the grant is submitted for 10 properties. The committee also has updated the township intent to participate in Community Rating Systems, CRS program, which is a national flood insurance program designed to offer flood insurance discounts for participating communities. The township must first deal with the list of non-compliant structures as provided by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, all of which will be addressed there before the township is eligible to apply. So these are efforts that are underway to make sure we have it all in accordance with that. And that's all for me.
Thank you, Councilwoman Padron.
Thank you, Madam
Almost
President.
took as long as the mayor.
I first wanted to thank the Boy Scouts for coming out tonight. I did have the pleasure of speaking to them before they helped us give our pledge to the flag. If people are wondering how they get their local troops, Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, to lead us in the pledge, they can contact any of us council members, and we'll be happy to let our young people have an opportunity to be part of government in whatever way is possible. I think it only can do good for our community. Summerfest, I did have the opportunity to attend both Summerfests with all three of my children. And it was absolutely wonderful. I give so much credit to Chief Berquist, who ran this like a well-oiled machine. Despite any fears or hesitation about having a beer and wine garden, there was ample security, ample protection. It was set off from the main food vending area, so it could be monitored. And I thought it went absolutely perfect. Our Parks and Recreation Department did the lion's share of the work in keeping everything organized. And I especially want to recognize Joanne Bergen, our BA, who was selling glow sticks and 50/50s all during the Summerfest. And that's above and beyond her job title, but there she was doing it. I think you made $300 and something selling the glow sticks.
The first night.
That's right.
Went to BMAC, and the second night, I sold the remaining glow sticks, so I don't know the dollar value.
See that? So we found another talent that Joanne has. It's a saleswoman. We could do that as well. I also wanted to bring up that our chief has offered to give us a presentation this coming fall about what our brick police are doing for us to mitigate the crime and the drug use in our area. There are so many things that our officers are doing behind the scenes and that have resulted in arrest after arrest after arrest that are helping our community. And I think our public needs to know what those efforts are. So the chief has gracefully decided that he will give that presentation at some time in the fall, and see how I say it in public so you can't get out of it, see? If anyone's wondering what these things are on my arm, yes, my cat unfortunately escaped from my house and got a baby squirrel. I tried to rescue the baby squirrel and put it in a little patch where it would be safe. Apparently there was poison ivy in the patch. So this is not my new fashion trend, and I'm not Wonder Woman. That's what it is. But I particularly want to thank the mayor for allowing this amendment for the administrative code. This is one of the platforms that we ran on, streamlining this government, cutting out the fat, and I've been waiting to see this and see this day come, and I really want to give major kudos to Mayor Ducey for making it happen. It's one of the major reasons that I decided to run for this election, because I didn't like how the town was expanding instead of streamlining to keep our expenses lower. We've heard tonight what the efforts of the administration and our mayor have done for us, and we will reap the benefits in the coming years. Thank you tonight, and have a good night.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to thank the Boy Scouts, great job today. I also went for the steel revetment when we went up there, and it was quite a walk to get there. I was amazed how far we have to travel just to get there, but that was an experience in itself. Hopefully they can do 150 to 200 feet a day to move it along. That'd be great. I also went to Windward Beach to the playground. It was a nice day, and all the kids were lined up right around it, waiting for the mayor to cut the ribbon. And as soon as that ribbon was cut, they ran right in and started playing. It was great. I'm glad for all the second reading on the second ordinances. This will move the town ahead. This is what we've been trying to do. Parks are in there. The administration code's in there. All this stuff, a lot of stuff sat for 2 years, so we couldn't hardly do anything. With the mayor now and Andrea on the parks, we can really move ahead. We're moving the town in the right direction. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. I am glad that the administrative code changes went through on the second reading, and as Council Vice President said, and our mayor and other council members, this is something that we tried to do a while back that unfortunately was blocked by the prior administration. But having all of the information in front of you now, and have it being explained by Mayor Ducey in a clear, concise fashion, I think most people would agree that this is definitely a step in the right direction for our township. Same exact services, if not better services. Almost $500,000 in savings to our township every year. And more, because then you don't have the raises and the pension contributions and et cetera. And I know that our township employees are up for the task. They are very capable people, and we are proud of them. I do want to thank the Boy Scouts for coming in, not only to lead us in the pledge, but they are working on their communications merit badge, and I anticipate you earning that badge, and you fellas did a great job. Thank you for coming this evening. Our next council meeting will be held out on the island. If you need some information of where to find that meeting, please call our council office. Our secretary, Ms. Hartman, would be happy to help you with that, and that will start at 7 o'clock sharp. And that's all we have for this evening. Motion is second to adjourn.
Make a motion? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.